we're trying to do as a company, so EMG as a company, is that we know today that the world is changing at a rapid rate. So our sort of philosophy is that we bring our world into yours. So we live in a research space. So we do a lot of research around technology, engagement, and what impact that's going to have on our industry as an events industry. So what we're really trying to look at doing is how do we bring that to our customers? How do we share that in a meaningful conversation? And also, what value does it add to an event? Technology in itself is great, but if it adds no value to it, it's just technology. So what we've tried to do here when we look at the AIME hub, what we've got here is that we've brought VR into an experience, which we think virtual reality, whilst it's not new technology, it's actually now sort of elevated to a point now that it's consumer driven. So destinations really are going to have to look at creating a richer level of content to engage consumers in what a buying sort of process. But also looking at what's behind me here as well. This is 360 and augmented reality here. And what we're trying to look at doing is that part of what we're thinking about is getting everybody to understand that through the customer journey, you can have 3D, you can have 360, you can do augmented reality, but if you can't bring it to me where I sit down and I do my work, which could be in my lounge room, which could be at a coffee shop, then it's just technology. So we partnered with another company called AIME, where we were able to bring all of that and get them to rewrite their code and put it into a consumer-facing thing. So where I can sit wherever I like on my laptop and play with it. But also from it is, it's really about the consumers are changing today, customers are changing today. Like the events industry is a $1 trillion plus industry globally. We're bigger than the motor industry. We are the single largest platform that brings people together. So, and it's about events. So it's about engagement. It's about experiences. It's about return on investment. You know, VR's awesome, but how do you bring it to the masses? Well, you get Google Cardboard. It's $10 and you use your own device. But you've got to make sure that you create the experience that interfaces with the device that you can put into Google Cardboard, which then helps the consumer. Otherwise, it's just Google Cardboard, it doesn't do anything. So it's about understanding how to connect all of those dots. So when you sit down with somebody to develop and plan an event, it's about what experience do they want. You know, is technology relevant to that experience, or is engagement relevant to the experience? Is it about lighting, sound, and audio? So there's lots of different facets that come into it. What we're trying to look at doing is that we have a rich depth of intel and IP that we want to sort of put it out on the table for our clients and go, okay, which of these actually works for you, who your customers are, what you want to achieve out of doing the event, and let's see if they all can come together to create that experience in the events industry. And that's really what we're trying to look at, because there's just so much stuff coming today. Clients just don't know what's relevant and meaningful to their audience and what's not. So if I look at it from an event planner point of view, so there's a couple of facets there. You've got some organisations have event teams, and some organisations might have the EA, or we have some that might outsource it to a marketing company. So it really depends on who we're speaking to. And again, I think it comes back to my earlier point where we actually try and place down on the table what's relevant. It's really about what's relevant. So it's talking to them about what's relevant for their audience, because there's certain facets of technology, depending on who you are, you probably have no relevance to you in the events industry. So it's really getting them to understand what's out there. Like we had a meeting yesterday and we spoke to a client simply about how we could change one process using an app in their registration phase that would capture data, and they would be able to then track that data. They didn't even know that technology existed. Didn't even know it existed, you know, and didn't even know that we could actually get their delegates to put it all on their phone, and they could do selfies of themselves and put their own selfies on their own tickets. And they just thought that was the coolest thing. Now, that's actually not a new technology, they just didn't know about it. So it's about having that conversation first and then working out, is this customer journey we're creating for your customers, being your delegates, your guests, the right experience? And then them deciding, is it? And also, it can be as simple as it could be time saving. So there's lots of different things that we try and do to really look at when they get to the event, are we creating the greatest possible experience they can have when they get there? I keep coming back to the customer experience. You know, we could have 500 different clients, and but at the end of the day, would we be giving the right advice, the right experience, and the right outcome? For me, it's sitting down and identifying what we do, why we do it, how we do it, and then doing it really well for who we do it for. It's not about my global domination. I'm not really interested in global domination. There's bigger people out there that want to do global domination. I'd rather find a client that we can create a really great outcome for, and if that client have some of ours pick us up and travel us with them, that's awesome. But as for the rest of the planet, there's plenty of people out there that want that.